Women in space. Russian cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova blasted off on June 16, 1963. With that trip, she became the first woman to visit outer space. She took off in a single-person spaceship on a 3-day mission that orbited the Earth 48 times. Tereshkova was an experienced parachute jumper when she began her cosmonaut training. She was one of 5 Russian women to begin cosmonaut flight school. However, she was the only one of her female cosmonaut class to travel into space. To this day, Tereshkova still remains the only woman ever to make a trip into space alone. Another Russian cosmonaut named Svetlana Savitskaya was the first female to complete 2 space missions. In 1982, she became the first female to fly to a space station. Then on July 25, 1984, she did the first female spacewalk. As a young adult, Savitskaya was also an experienced parachute jumper, much like Tereshkova. She has completed 400 parachute jumps by the time she was 17 years old. 20 years would pass from Tereshkova's first female space mission before an American woman would ride into space. On June 18, 1983, astronaut Sally Ride became the first American female astronaut to reach outer space. She was a crew member aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. Ride had studied physics at Stanford University. This qualified her to be a mission specialist. She was in charge of sending satellites into space while she was on the Challenger. Kathryn Sullivan was the first American female American astronaut to perform a spacewalk. She walked in space on October 11, 1984. She was also a crew member on board the Space Shuttle Challenger. Sullivan flew on 3 Space Shuttle missions during her 15-year career with NASA. One mission that Sullivan worked on in 1990 was responsible for deploying the Hubble Space Telescope. Mae Jemison was accepted into America's astronaut program in 1987. It was not until 1992 when Jemison became the first female African American astronaut to blast into space. She traveled into space as a crew member on the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Jemison is a medical doctor who also speaks Russian and Swahili. She did medical experiments on the Space Shuttle crew during her time in space. She also studied the effects of weightlessness and motion sickness on humans in space. Ellen Ochoa traveled into space on the Space Shuttle Discovery in 1993. Her flight into space made her the first Hispanic American female astronaut. Ochoa studied electrical engineering at Stanford University and traveled to space 4 times. One of her trips was in 1999 with the Space Shuttle Discovery. That mission was the first time a space shuttle docked at the International Space Station. In 2013, Ochoa became the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. She is the first Hispanic American and the second female to be director of this important space center. The first female commander of a space shuttle mission was Eileen Collins. On July 23, 1999, Collins piloted the Space Shuttle Discovery on a 4-day mission into space. This was a very successful mission, so Collins was awarded the Harmon Trophy when she returned to Earth. The Harmon Trophy honors the world's best achievements in flight. Of the 536 people that have ever flown into space, 59 were women. These female cosmonauts and astronauts have been from 9 countries. Russia sent the first woman into space, but the United States has sent the most women into outer space. The United States has sent 44 women on space missions. Who will be next?